G'day, I'm Pete and you're watching Feral Fabrications. I have to admit I haven't made any progress on the Capri. The only thing I have done is got it outside and gave it a good wash. It was covered in grinding dust, and so it was really great to get it outside and wash all of that off and make it look presentable again. So the reason I haven't made any progress on that is we're going to be travelling to the South Island of New Zealand to pick up a new project. I live in the North Island and it's a fair hike down there, so I've just been organising that stuff for that trip, making sure I don't forget anything like tie downs and sleeping bags and all the rest of it. So while I have been mucking around with that, a while back I shot an episode about my Minimax Hydroplane boat. It's a really small boat made out of a couple of sheets of plywood, and they're just a bit of a laugh, bit of a hoot type of thing. Playing along with stuff 4 horsepower. My one's got 4. You can actually see the bottom of my hull over here in the corner. When I bought that boat, I have to admit I didn't build it. I was thinking about building one, but I managed to pick it up for less than what the materials were going to cost. So I thought, stuff it, we'll just buy that one. But it came with just the tiller steer, and I had a really bad experience with the tiller steer boat. It was much bigger than this one. It was a 3.6 metre with 25 horse on the back, and I flipped it over in the surf trying to go fishing. So I was never really keen on tiller steer boats much after that. And when I got this one and I was turning around with the tiller steer, I thought, no, that's got to go, I need a steering wheel. So I had a look online. The Minimax, as well as a bunch of other boats, are designed by William D. Jackson. He also designed a boat called the Hasty Hydro, which is a 3-point hydroplane, whereas the Minimax has just got the single, I guess you call it a single point hydroplane because it's just got contact at the back. So the Hasty Hydro had a really cool drag steering wheel design, and I was like, yep, that'll fit perfectly in the Minimax. So that's what this episode's about, is making that and fitting it into the boat. So I hope you enjoy something a little different, and we'll probably see you on the next episode, road tripping down south to pick up a new project. What will it be? You'll see. Hit subscribe, enjoy. There we have it, the makings of a steering wheel. I think the next thing I'll do is mark the centre line and drill a centre hole basically as a reference point for where the steering shaft needs to go. Okay, so there we go after the second round of just tidying up the profile, and I've also got them lined up at the back ready to get recessed in. So there we are, we've got the piece of aluminium recessed into the back of these pieces of timber now. Looking alright. There we are, pretty much got them made now. Still a little bit of final finishing. One thing I've noticed is the plans called for 2 of these. They were meant to be, like if you bought normal gauge timber, that'd be 19mm or 3/4 of an inch. So 2 together would give you 1.5 inches. I've just had rough sawn timber and I've just planed it down a bit myself. And as a result, might have been a bit thicker. So I'm thinking I'm just going to run 1, and that'll make it 1 inch thick, or pretty close to 25mm. And I still think there'll be plenty to get any steering cables on there, because I'm not planning on having a real sharp lock to lock on this thing. Like I only want to turn it like that much at the most, sort of thing. So I'm not going to need heaps of cable to do that. So that's where I'm at. I think I'll do some final finishing and then glue all of this steering drum together. Had a hunt around, found some PVA, so we'll use that instead of the polyurethane. Probably not quite as good, but I'm going to have bolts and screws going all the way through this thing anyway. Gotta let it dry. Right, I'm going to paint this with some surface sealer. Then I'm going to paint these with this wood stain. Once that's dry, I'm going to just paint this with some white enamel paint. The inside of the boat's white, so that'll match that. And then yeah, this will stand out with the wood. Aluminium there will look good. This was walnut, so it's quite dark. Should look good though. This is just going on top of pine, so it doesn't hurt to have something a bit darker when your wood's quite light to start with. Just applying this with a rag. Found it works quite good actually. In the past anyway, so see how this goes. So this is the steering wheel in place, looking pretty tidy. Might just need to put like a nylon packer in between the 2 wooden surfaces just to make that a bit nicer action. But it's looking great. So I'm moving on to the steering rigging. I've been down to the boat shop. These are the little pulleys I've bought. They've got an anchor plate with 4 screws. Nylon little roller in there, and they're the real deal. They're not cheap, but yeah, it's what you got to do. And the steering rope also is a particular type of rope, and they just sold it at my local marine shop. So spent a bit of cash there. It's probably about $100, but pretty much the last thing I need to get steering on this wee boat. So I'm thinking of running them to the inside like this. I kind of want the cord just to follow the edge here, come all the way down, and then I'm thinking of having another one just here, and then the rope would go through and hook on to a drop bracket on the motor.
which would come down here. Now the only thing I don't like about that is it's going to be really deep. It has come down a long way. So the other option I've got, which is a little more traditional, is to hook a steering bar onto the front here. You generally bring them back to the center of rotation of the motor as well. Then the steering would just come all the way up. This other pulley would actually be on the steering bar, so it's like double action, and then the rope will come down and attach back to the boat. So I've sort of got two options there, not really sure which one's going to be the best. And this is a tensioning spring, so I'm not too sure which one to go for, to be honest. I do know I want to have that one there on the front, so I'm going to go ahead and screw the two front ones into place and then make up my mind about the back. The 5-inch drum, pretty much direct link to off the motor. We've got about 200 from the centre line of the rotation of the motor, or the axis of the motor, whatever you want to call it. So if I go quarter of a turn, that's how much it's turning. I don't think you'd really need to turn much sharper than that. And it's back straight. And then quarter of a turn the other way. The thing it doesn't have a very nice feel when it gets near the ends. I couldn't really turn any more than that. But, you know, you sort of got to test these things, don't you? So let's take it out for a wee run, see what that's like, and if it's too sensitive, we'll go the steering bar route. Right, thought I'd just quickly show you the bracket that I used to attach the steering system to the motor. Just a bit of 50mm angle trimmed down in a few different dimensions there. Added some speed holes because it's a race boat, and found during testing that these d-shackles originally down here, had to move them up because the bracket actually fouled when I lifted the motor all the way up and tilted it, so pretty annoying. Anyway, it's the way it goes, it's why you test. So put those up there, and I'll just trim the bottom off that bracket to fix that, and just grabbed a very simple lawnmower throttle cable for the throttle. So that was very cheap and nasty. It's just a single core, and I do want to change it to like a multi-core thing, but it did the job for the Christmas holidays, which was the main thing. So we'll cut to the footage now, of ripping it round. Enjoy.